They were dogs?
That's a good one.
Well, we're back here again, isn't it? Hi, welcome to the Event 101 for Ghost Beach Part 2. Yeah, so if you've seen my first playthrough for Ghost Beach Part 1, this is much of the same vein. The only exception is that there's different stuff going on here. And there are some things I forgot to mention that people have pointed out that I thought would be more in line to stuff, but needless to say, all you need to know is this. Like before, you need to unlock the promenade in order to partake in this event. You have to be at level 5, and it takes about 5 seconds. Not too long. In fact, you shouldn't be there. You should be there by now. Other than that, there are some characters that can do you some things here. And one of the big things this time around is the item that you get craft for. In this case, is the ritual sand sculpture. You can get this for 10. And it's a lot cheaper than the ones previously, but it's still a lot. You'll be getting a lot of these over the time, and there are characters that drop you this, so this is not needed. It's a nice little decoration. It does have a little animation with the lights, so it's not like awful decoration, but you'll get a lot of these. So this is just more if you want it, you can have it type of thing. Now, the name of the game is to progress by using the little icon here. Like I said before, it's basically this, the magnifying glass with little ghosts in there. It seems pretty much self-explanatory. And basically from there, you'd go through all this to collect items and crafting stuff and, things and decorations of that nature. And these decorations are exclusive to this game. Some are based from other games, but it's still exclusive nonetheless. And, of course, you do get a character if you do get the gold pass, which over here is Mist House. So, in order to get this, you need to buy this, the Ghost Beach Part 2 pass, which, by the way, it's... Most of the time with stuff like this, I would wait until it goes on sale, and then that's when you should probably get it. When exactly, I'm not sure, but it will go on sale at some point. But there's that. The other thing too with this update, there's a lot of stuff here that's pretty much interesting as far as things go. But regardless, so most of this stuff here, like last time, you do need the ritual candles, but you need 3 of them, just like before with the other ones. It sounds like it's a lot, but you'll get a whole lot of this from different characters and items that it won't be that terrible. So mostly it's a cooking salt, ghostly dog food, turtle flashlight, gold coins, battery cell, and then, the old vacuum cleaner are the common ones. However, the turtle flashlight needs the battery cells in order to kind of power this up. And you need that in order to actually go with the ghost vacuum. In fact, the ghost vacuum is a lot harder because unlike the family photo, which uses like the normal items, you need the family photo, the old vacuum cleaner, which is normal, and then also this turtle flashlight, so it needs the battery cell. So it's a little bit difficult, but not too difficult. So the ghost vacuum is going to be the more harder item to obtain, and thus worth a lot more compared to everything else. Now that might seem a little difficult at first, but in the events, there are characters that can drop you some of this stuff, so it's not going to be too terrible, and for some of the quest lines is going to be helpful as well. Of course, as before, there are items like the Sea Monsters pack and Beach Excavation packs that will help you during this time. If you do get them during sales, that's great. Then you have characters that will unlock to help you out throughout the event. The pirate boat, on the other hand, I have no idea what this is. I don't know if this is a scene from the old, like to get the old characters. Because if you've gotten the one from the last update, you'll be surprised to see that the characters have changed. So I don't know if this is just a decoration or what. So this is news to me, exactly what this might be. So if you want to get it, that's great. Your discretion. I don't know what it is. It's not like before when I would know, oh, it's a scene. So this time, I don't know what it is. It could just be a decoration. So it seems like this time around, it's not really worthwhile compared to anything else. I feel like getting the pass is probably the more worthwhile stuff to get. And, you know, like I said before, all this items and stuff seems like it's difficult, but it's actually not really, because it's a lot easier for this stuff. Like before, characters like Mrs. Dark, all these characters apply ectoplasm sunscreens, which gives you the ritual candles. Which, by the way, they're basically characters you get during the first part, so these will be fine. Eventually you'll get the, you know, the ghost ship in the bottle, which allows you to have Dustin get some salt doing an animation. Now, Mortman is odd because there's a glitch with him right now. He also does this. He needs to make a wish. I don't know what he needs exactly for this. I have pointed this out to the forum. I'm hoping... I have not yet gotten in contact with the lead director, so hopefully I get a hold of him soon, but for now, I really don't know what item to use. Hopefully by the time you put that thing down, it's pretty much there. The item from previously is now dropping the candles, so there's that you can do there. And, you know, of course, you got Mar, who will also drop you the sunscreen, which will be... or not the sunscreen, she has the animation for the sunscreen that drops you the candles. Marty can also do something. Oh, that's cool, and then you also get stuff from there, so that's also nice. So you got that, and then of course, you know, we got Sharon, who will also help us with that. So there you go. Usually that's the name of the game, is the progression stuff. Of course, you can craft stuff by clicking on the pier here, or you can go ahead and do the crafting here, but it'll take you to the same place. One thing to know, in order to collect the items, you have to click on the pier out here. It will not work by going into the crafting area in the section here. This will not do it for you, so just keep that in mind. Now, to get the ghostly vacuum, you can actually play this scene here, which will actually drop you the vacuum, which is helpful. This will give you 80%, and this basically has a cooldown timer for 8 hours, so there's that if you don't want to craft. But really, these crafting items are pretty easy to get because they're not really hard items, like grocery bags, roach snacks, you know, those are easy. Investigation files, easy. Tin cans, easy. Yo-yos, easy. So it's not like it's difficult to get these items. So really, they're just like, they're simplistic enough that you should be able to get it just fine. The hard part is going to get those in magnifying glasses in order to progress through this, in order to get everything. Now, there are ways to get through this by basically completing the quest line like this, or going through items. You end up getting a lot of stuff and thus kind of progress and go through a lot of this stuff, so that's good. The other way of doing it is by selling things. Basically from here, let me just get rid of this. Yeah, so down here it gives you some items, so the higher cost of stuff gives you more currency and whatnot. The one thing I'm going to say, though, to keep in mind, is that despite all this, one of the interesting things that came out of this is that apparently the game doesn't, because of the small team, they did not fix certain things from old events. So characters like, say, if we go all the way down to see Jillian, she also drops the currency stuff, which means that she can actually give you some decent points, either 22 or 40, depending on which one. The 40 is basically just, you know, either or, same time, so it gives you a lot of points for, you know, decent points than anything else. But it is something to note regardless. But besides that, the other thing too is if you've actually invested from the other game, unfortunately, characters like Tara doesn't do anything. She actually helps you with items previously, so just keep in mind that when you invest into this game, the new characters will help you, like, just to have them around, but they will not be like an asset paid in. It's basically just, if you want it, you can get it type of thing, so just keep that in mind with this new update. You get the dog, Mist, which I believe is supposed... I haven't gotten to the story yet, so I don't know the whole gist, but it's not a named character in the actual update, so as far as I know, this is just an OC they made. that's basically like, oh, dogs, you know, that was from the thing, so of course, right? So there's that. But the other thing too is that if you actually have this, same rules apply, except they only drop you the water balls and don't really do anything else besides that. But yeah, the ghosts from before, they've changed now. So that's part of the reason, but the part 2 being as wonky as it is, so just keep that in mind. It is something to be worthwhile. But there is something of worth to make note of. If you have items from the previous update, not particularly this update because I think they got rid of it, but the update back in My Hairy Valentine's. Sometimes, if you're lucky, Seder might ask you to buy them out. And if they do ask you that, you can actually get it for a good price. Namely, you're looking at, like, if you have a lot of them, you can get a whole lot in exchange. So, in that practice, if you invested your time in getting this Sturm House Final Reward, and get yourself basically the monster can. I forgot what its name, but you know, Monster Unleash. That type of drink thing. You can actually get a lot of this stuff, and hopefully the RNGs from Seder's shop can give you the item to sell, and you can get a lot of points from that way. So that's another way to doing it. But by just playing through the game, having characters do the stuff, eventually things will open up and you'll actually get stuff going for yourself. And of course, Lucy, once you get items down, she also helps a bunch. So batteries, dog food, all that type of stuff and more. Now, if you're interested in knowing the characters that actually drop you the high price items, there are actually 4 this time around. And I don't know if both 4 are animated or only 2 of these are animated, but I want to point them out regardless. The first one is the Masked Mutant. He drops you the Ghost Vacuum, but you need the Sunken Temple, which is part of the pack. Now, that's one of them, right? The other character who can actually do this is, believe it or not, Murdy, which I basically just, unfortunately, without thinking, got him through that, but he drops you the photograph, and you need one of the items. Again, that's one of the stuff there. The other character is Yvonne. She actually dropped you the photograph as well, Admire the Powers. I want to say she's animated because what they seem to be doing is that characters that haven't been used a whole lot, but as part of the game, tends to have animations. So that's that there. Be interesting. And last but not least, believe it or not, Mr. Piccolo. Showing a big catch actually drops you the Ghostly Vacuum. So, again, these are characters that are interesting to grab if you have them. So, or, you know, the useful in that kind of aspect. So, it is interesting regardless. Also, he's very small compared to everyone. I know he's just in a chair, but still, he's like small. I don't know. The size, man. Sometimes they just are wonky that way. But I digress. Anyways, yeah, that seems to be roughly it. Everything is just self-explanatory at this point. I feel like maybe the next update moving forward might be the last time I do this type of stuff, because at this rate, it seems like it's just the same song and dance over and over again. The only interesting new thing is basically when it actually is going to end, per se. And I'll do it this time around, just so you know. We have a long week. We have 4 weeks basically into this update. And if you're curious on when this is going to be, right now it's 28 days, 22 hours, 9 minutes. From what I gathered, this is going to end Sunday, November 17th at 2024 at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Actually, it might be actually 10 a.m. now that I think about it, because it's going to be daylight saving time end. So yeah, it's actually 10 this time around. Interesting. Okay, so yeah, now I've learned my lesson. It's 10 a.m. Alright, well, now that I know. But anyways, that's basically it. If you see this, cool. But regardless, I think it's self-explanatory at this point. So yeah, now you know. So hopefully you enjoy. Hopefully this helps. And yeah, if you have any more feedback or things that you've learned that might help you out, leave them down below and let everyone else see it. Until then, I've been Grim, and this has been the Event 101 for Ghost Beach Part 2. Until then, bye.